I'm Chris Lee of Southeastern14.com, here to go over SEC football power rankings heading into Week 10. Georgia stays atop the ratings, no surprise. The Bulldogs, frankly, showed how dominant they could be. They put Florida away in about a 2 to 3 minute stretch at the end of the first half in that Saturday game. I think that tells you all you need to know about Georgia. Everybody knows how dominant this team is, and so Georgia rightfully remains atop of the SEC power rankings, and I expect will be the number one team in the country in the college football playoff rankings. Alabama was off. The Crimson Tide stay at number 2. So let's move on to the next tier. I think it's two teams that are fairly evenly matched and two teams that will play each other in the coming weeks. So that'll settle that. But the two teams are Auburn and Texas A&M, both playing very well right now. Auburn has moved up to 3. Bo Nix, their quarterback, is playing really well. Nix was a very talented kid coming out of high school. He's had ups and downs, but it looks like Bo Nix has really gotten his stuff together. And you see Auburn really playing well as a result of that and finding their running game with Tank Bigsby, who really had a great game against Ole Miss, really came through in one of the Tigers' biggest games of the season. Texas A&M has moved up to 4. That's the highest they've been in a while. The Aggies probably took advantage of some teams in front of them not playing very well. But in any case, A&M is also a team where it's really starting to come together. We have seen better quarterback play out of Zach Calzada. We've seen an offensive line that started to gel. I'm really interested to see the Auburn A&M matchup. Now, the next two teams are pretty clear to me. Ole Miss, I know the Rebels didn't play great, and Matt Corral is banged up. But Ole Miss, I don't think you can realistically drop any further than 5. Certainly the computers would not. I think the computers have still got Ole Miss ahead of Texas A&M in some places. And then there's Arkansas. And the computers aren't crazy about the Razorbacks for reasons that, frankly, I don't understand. ESPN's FPI, SP+, Kenneth Massey, all have Arkansas outside the top 30, which I don't get because Arkansas statistically has been a good team. It's beaten some good teams this year. I think the Razorbacks, after that fast start, they lost some games against a tough schedule, which you knew was coming. You could look at that schedule and you could say Arkansas is going to have some trouble, even though it's a really good team, because of who it's playing. I think maybe the computers have their formulas and things, and so it's not personal, but I look at what Arkansas has done against a tough schedule. I really don't understand why they are where they are in the computers, but I've got Arkansas 6th, and I really can't justify moving them down any further than that. Then we get to two teams that have really been up and down lately. Mississippi State just waxed Kentucky this weekend, and so State's got to jump ahead of Kentucky. And this team, again, early in the season, a loss to Memphis, a near loss to Louisiana Tech. But Will Rogers was phenomenal against Kentucky. Only misfired on 3 passes. And so maybe this is a team that's kind of coming into its own in the middle of Coach Mike Leach's second year. Kentucky's down to 8. And look, I still think Kentucky is a good team. But the offense has not played well against good teams for a while now, and now the defense got shredded by State's passing game over the weekend. Now, again, I think Kentucky's a good team and probably going to end up in the top 25. Some of that's because of the schedule, but right now Kentucky just didn't look good against State. I think this team right now, I have a hard time putting it ahead of 8th. May be wrong, and again, Kentucky may move up by the end of the season, but right now that's where I've got them. Then you get to 3, 4, and 4 teams. You've got Florida and LSU have had incredibly disappointing seasons. Florida, the computers continue to love the Gators for reasons that I don't understand. Look, Florida's not had a win against a top 25 team all year. FPI and SP Plus both have the Gators in the top 10, which I guess is probably based on yardage stats, but Florida's turned the ball over a bunch. The quarterback play right now is not very good, although maybe that's just what Georgia does to you. But I can't put Florida much ahead of 9 right now. Now, the Gators have got an easier schedule. Florida State, probably the toughest opponent on the schedule. That's going to be a rivalry game. Florida State's playing better. But right now, I just can't put UF above 9, despite what the computers say. And so the Gators could finish 8-4 and move up, but right now just are not playing good ball. LSU, we've talked about them. It's astonishing to see LSU heading to a game against Alabama as a 29-point underdog, but that's where they are. Tennessee was off. The Vols have played pretty well at times, but of course Florida beat them in the head-to-head matchup. So in a gaggle of three teams that are in a lot of ways even, certainly even record-wise, I can't move Tennessee any higher than where it is right now, but again, that could change. Then we get to the ugly portion of the SEC. Missouri, South Carolina, flip a coin. Missouri cannot play any defense. South Carolina's got major quarterback issues, but the difference in these two teams, I think, is Carolina can play defense, and Missouri just can't anytime, anywhere against anybody. So I've got Carolina 12. Just by that, I go Missouri 13. Tyler Beatty really carrying that team right now. And then Vandy 14th. The Commodores have been 14 all year, and kind of a distant 14th, although let's give them credit. They almost beat Carolina on the road 2 weeks ago and played Missouri to the final 2 minutes. But I think the outcomes of those games were the right ones. Clearly to me, Missouri and South Carolina just better teams, and the Commodores again in a long rebuild mode. I'm Chris Lee for Southeastern 14. Be sure to check out our website at southeastern14.com, and we'll have more videos coming on our YouTube channel later this week.